staring at the ceiling in the gray of 2025, just trying to remember how it felt to be alive. The coffee's getting colder in the mug you used to use. I'm picking up the pieces of a life I didn't choose. I found your old keychain in the cushion of the chair. It feels like you're still standing in the silence over there. I've tried to fill the empty with 1,000 different things, but nothing mends the damage that a lonely winter brings. They say that more is better, that the world is so much so, but I'm a broken engine that has lost its only control. The sky is wide and hollow and the stars are out of reach, and I'm the only student that the silence has to teach. 'Cause you were all that I wanted, you were all that I need. Now I'm just a garden that's been taken by the weed. Reaching for a hand that isn't holding mine tonight, watching all the gold in me turn into lead and white. I've searched every corner, I've walked through every door, but I'm looking for a version of us that don't live here anymore. Yeah, it's a bitter truth, a jagged little sea, knowing you were everything and all that I need. Saw your favorite record in the window of a shop. I felt the whole world stutter, I felt the motion stop. I almost bought it for you, then I remembered the end. The way you said we're better off as just another friend. But friends don't leave this hollow, friends don't leave this ache. Friends don't leave a spirit that is destined just to break. I'm wearing your old sweater just to feel a little heat, walking down the center of a one-way dead-end street. Is it greed to want the oxygen? Is it wrong to want the light? Is it a sin to wish you'd walk back in and make the wrong feel right? I'm a map with no destination, a ship with no more sea. Since you took the only part of life that made any sense to me. If letting go is freedom, then I'd rather be in chains than to live a single second when no part of you remains. 'Cause you were all that I wanted, you were all that I need. Now I'm just a garden that's been taken by the weed. I'm reaching for a hand that isn't holding mine tonight, watching all the gold in me turn into lead and white. I've searched every corner, I've walked through every door, but I'm looking for a version of us that don't live here anymore. Yeah, it's a bitter truth, a jagged little sea, knowing you were everything and all that I need. All that I need was just a little more time. All that I need was the reason and the ride. But the house is quiet now, and the lights are turning low, and I'm left with the one thing I never wanted to know, that you were all I need. Just you, only you, only you. digital clock on the nightstand by the bed, watching the red numbers burn a hole inside my head. The house is keeping secrets in the shadows on the wall, and I'm just a hollow frame standing in the hall. I found a strand of your hair on the collar of my coat. It felt like a jagged blade pressing on my throat. The silence is a predator, it's stalking every room while I'm trying to remember how the garden used to bloom. They say that time is money, that it's something you can spend, but no one tells you how it breaks when you reach the bitter end. I'm a watch with a broken spring, a wheel that won't turn, sitting in the ashes of a bridge I had to burn. 'Cause every second with you was a heartbeat I could keep. Now every second without you is a mountain far too steep. I'm counting down the minutes like they're grains of desert sand, reaching for a ghost that's slipping through my hand. I'd trade 1,000 lifetimes just to pause the ticking blue, 'cause every second felt like heaven when I spent it with you. I went to buy the groceries, I bought the wine you liked, then I stood there in the kitchen like I'd walked into a spike. The calendar is mocking me with dates circled in red, of a future that we promised, of a life that's already dead. I still hear your laughter in the hum of the fridge. I'm a man without a river, I'm a man without a bridge. I'm memorizing shadows just to keep the feeling near, but the more I try to hold you, the more you disappear. Is there a way to slow it down, to make the moment stay, to stop the cruel sun from stealing one more day? I'm a prisoner of the now, and the now is far too cold. I'm watching all our forever start to crumble in the mold. If time is a healer, then why am I so sore? I'm just a second away from not being me anymore. 'Cause every second with you was a heartbeat I could keep. Now every second without you is a mountain far too steep. I'm counting down the minutes like they're grains of desert sand, reaching for a ghost that's slipping through my hand. I'd trade 1,000 lifetimes just to pause the ticking blue, 'cause every second felt like heaven when I spent it with you. One second, the room goes dark. 2 seconds, I lose the spark. 3 seconds, I'm all alone, just a second away from a heart made of stone. Every second, every single one. I'm standing on the platform, watching the last train pull away, thinking about the colors of the words we didn't say. I remember how it started like a soft and steady rain, before the lightning struck me and it turned into this pain. I was careful with my secrets, I was guarded with my soul, but you found a way to reach the parts I couldn't quite control. Now the house is full of echoes and the tea has gone to stone, and I'm learning what it means to be with us all alone. They say that love's a journey, but they don't mention the cliff. They don't talk about the maybe or the everlasting if. I thought I was climbing to a peak I'd never seen, but I was just a dreamer lost in everything between. Cause falling into love was like falling through the floor into a dark and empty room with a locked and heavy door. I thought that I was flying, I thought I found the sun, but I was only crashing down before the race was run. Now I'm bruised and I'm broken, and I'm reaching for your hand, but I'm falling in love, and I've got nowhere left to land. I see your face in every glass, I hear you in the street. I'm looking for a rhythm that'll match my own heartbeat, but the tempo's all wrong now and the melody is flat. How can something so beautiful just end like that? I keep your old t-shirt in the drawer beside the bed. It's a fabric monument to the things we never said. I'm a weightless disaster, I'm a star that's lost a spark, just a lonely piece of gravity spinning in the dark. Is there a way to catch yourself when the ground is made of air, when the one you gave your heart to is no longer even there? I'm tumbling through the memories, I'm spiraling through time, paying for a forever that was never really mine. If love is a descent, then I've hit the very deep, with 1,000 broken promises I was never meant to keep. Down before the race was run. Now I'm bruised and I'm broken, and I'm reaching for your hand, but I'm falling into love, and I've got nowhere left to land. Still falling in the middle of the day, still falling as the colors turn to gray. I'm waiting for the impact, I'm waiting for the end, but I'm just falling into love without you, my friend. Nowhere to land, nowhere to stand, just falling, falling. I'm standing in the doorway of the place where we first met. The neon sign is buzzing with a rhythm of regret. I can almost see the shadow of the person I was then, before I knew the how, why, or where, or even when. You were leaning by the jukebox, shifting weight from foot to foot, while I was digging in my trying to stay put. One look was all it took to set the gravity in gear. Now I'm standing in the wreckage of the ghost of that first year. If I had known the ending, would I still have walked on through? Would I have turned around and saved myself from losing you? But the memory is a magnet, and the past is made of steel, and I'm still reeling from the way you made me feel. 'Cause from the very first glance I was already gone, a heart in the dark waiting for a new dawn. I saw a lifetime of Sundays in the blink of an eye. I didn't see the rain, and I didn't see the goodbye. Now I'm haunted by the magic of that beautiful chance. I'm still falling, I'm still breaking from that very first glance. I remember what you wore, that denim jacket faded blue, and the way the room went quiet just to make a path for you. I thought it was a blessing, thought the stars had finally aligned. I didn't know that destiny was just a word for blind. Now I see you in the strangers passing by on 4th and Main, and it's a physical collision, it's a sharp and sudden pain. How can something so electric turn into a hollow spark? How can one look leave me wandering forever in the dark? It's the cruelty of the first that keeps the last so loud. I'm looking for your spirit in the middle of a crowd, just to feel that rush of oxygen, that static in the air. Before I realized that forever wasn't something we could share. I'd trade all my tomorrows just to stand back in that light, before the hello turned into this never-ending night. I'm still falling, I'm still breaking from that very first glance. That first glance, it was the beginning of the end. That first glance, where I found my only friend. Now the lights are going down and the music's ending too, but I'm still stuck in the moment when I first looked at you. I've been keeping the heater on 68 degrees, trying to stop the shivering, trying to find some ease. But the cold isn't coming from the draft under the door. It's the vacancy beside me, the quiet on the floor. I see a coffee mug sitting right where it was left, a porcelain reminder of a heart that's been bereft. I find myself reaching for your hand across the car, then I remember that you're gone, and you've gone way too far. The doctors say it's chemistry, the poets say it's soul, but all I know is everything has spun out of control. I'm a wire that's been severed, I'm a circuit with a break, and I'm bending under pressure from this heavy hollow ache. 'Cause I'm dying for just one touch to settle my mind, to leave the ghost of us and the goodbye behind. Just a brush of your shoulder, a hand on my face, to put all these pieces back in their place. The world is a desert, the wind is too rough, and I'm realize that knowing just isn't enough. I'd give up my future, I'd give up the much for a second of mercy, just one time. I walk through the park where the leaves started to fall, watching the shadows grow long on the wall. I saw a man catch his lover as she started to slip, and I felt the cold memory of your fingertips. I'm starving for the static, I'm hungry for the heat of a body that used to make my own feel complete. Now I'm just a silhouette in a crowded, noisy room, waiting for a light to break through this gloom. They say touch is a language, well I've gone stone deaf. I'm a book with no ink, I'm a song with no cleft. The skin has a memory that the brain can't erase. I'm still feeling the pressure of your last embrace. Is it a craving, or is it a need to feel the very hands that made my heart bleed? Ghost of us and a goodbye behind. Just a brush of your shoulder, a hand on my face, to put all these pieces back in their place. The world is a desert, the wind is too rough, and I'm realizing knowing just isn't enough. I give up the much for a second of mercy, just one touch to tell me I'm real, to show me I feel. But the air is just empty, and the sheets are so cold, and I'm left with a story that's already told. Just one touch, just one. I'm looking at a photograph taken in the July heat, before the world grew bitter, back when everything was sweet. I'm searching for the flicker, for the glow I used to know, before the frost moved in and turned the summer into snow. The frame is getting dusty on the table by the bed, a gallery of moments and the things we never said. I try to look away, but I'm a moth drawn to the flame, watching how the light in you began to shift and change. They say the windows of the soul never truly lie, but I watched the color drain out like a sunset in the sky. I was looking for a home, I was looking for a sign, but I was staring at a horizon that was no longer mine. 'Cause I remember the love in your eyes, clear as a summer day, before the clouds rolled in and chased the gold away. It was a soft place to land, it was a fire in the dark. Now I'm just a stranger looking for a missing spark. I'm drowning in the blue, I'm shivering in the gray, wishing I could find the look that you threw away. Yeah, I'd give up my life just to see one more sunrise of the ghost of the love that lived in your eyes. I saw you at the station just a week or two ago. I wanted to say hello, but my heart was moving slow. When you finally looked at me, it was like a sudden chill. The way you looked through me made the whole world stand still. The warmth had been replaced by a wall of jagged eyes, like I was just a debt you paid or a heavy hidden price. There wasn't any anger, there wasn't any hate, just a hollow empty hallway and a locked and iron gate. How does a vision so bright turn to something so dim? How do I look at you now and see only the rim of a canyon so deep that I'll never cross over? I'm a field of dead grass looking for a four-leaf clover. If I could blink and go back to the way that it felt before the silver started to tarnish and melt. Chase the gold away. It was a soft place to land, it was a fire in the dark. Now I'm just a stranger looking for a missing spark. I'm drowning in the blue, I'm shivering in the gray, wishing I could find the look that you threw away. Yeah, I'd give up my life just to see one more sunrise of the ghost of the love that lived in your eyes. In your eyes, where I used to belong. In your eyes, where nothing was wrong. Now I'm just looking at a mirror, seeing a man I don't know, because the light in your eyes was the only way home. It's gone, the light is gone. I've been drinking the silence tastes like a bitter cup of tea. Staring at the photographs of who we used to be. I've got 300 pages of a journal left to fill, but the pen is getting heavy and my heart is standing still. I used to memorize the way you breathe when you were fast asleep. Now I'm drowning in a promise that was yours to let me keep. I filled up every corner of this house with things you like, and now I'm just a ghost wandering down the hallway of my life. They say that time is plenty, they say the world is wide, but I'm a prisoner. The could-have-beens I'm carrying inside. I could have had 1,000 years, I could have had a life, but it wouldn't be enough to make the ending feel alright. 'Cause it was never enough of you, never enough time to learn the map of your soul or the reason for the rhyme. I'm a hungry heart standing in a cold and empty room, watching every flower that we planted fail to bloom. I could have held you until the stars burned out of the blue, and I'd still be here begging for one more minute of you. No, it was never enough, and now I'm left with nothing at all. I see your keys on the counter where you dropped them yesterday, but yesterday is a canyon that's 1,000,000 miles away. I'm still counting the freckles on the back of your hand in my mind, like a treasure hunter looking for a gold he'll never find. I've got a lifetime of I love yous caught behind my teeth, while the world is moving on and I'm shaking underneath. How do people walk away when the story's only half told? How do I stay warm when your side of the bed is freezing cold? Is there a version of heaven where the clock just stops, where the rain never falls and the curtain never drops? I was greedy for your laughter, I was selfish for your light, I wasn't ready for the never that started tonight. If I could bargain with the shadows, if I could sell my soul, I'd buy back the seconds that you took when you let go. Cause it was never enough of you, never enough time to learn the map of your soul or the reason for the rhyme. I'm a hungry heart standing in a cold and empty room, watching every flower that we planted fail to bloom. I could have held you until the stars burned out of the blue, and I'd still be here begging for one more minute of you. No, it was never enough, and now I'm left with nothing at all. Never enough of the way you said my name, never enough to survive this kind of pain. I'm just a man standing at the end of the line, realizing that forever was a mountain I couldn't climb. It wasn't enough, it was never enough. I'm sitting in the diner in the booth where we once sat, 'cause I was tired of the Listen to the hum of the fridge and the idle chat. The waitress asks if I'm waiting, and I don't know what to say. So I order 2 coffees and watch the steam drift away. I see a couple laughing by the jukebox in the back, and I feel the world around me start to fade into black. Every song they play sounds like a melody you wrote, like a heavy velvet anchor tied around my throat. They tell me there are oceans, they tell me there are fish, they tell me I can make a brand new kind of wish. But my eyes are colorblind to any shade that isn't you. My heart is just a clock that stopped at 20 past 2. 'Cause there's no one else who knows the way I take my tea. There's no one else who sees the parts you saw in me. I could walk a crowded street, I could sail 1,000 seas, but I'm looking for a ghost that's brought me to my knees. It's a lonely kind of hollow, it's a silent kind of blue, knowing that there's no one else, no one else but you. No one else but you. I tried to go to a movie, try to lose myself in the screen, but every leading lady looks like a place you've been. I'm scanning for your silhouette in every passing car, wondering if you're looking at the same distant star. I've got a drawer full of pictures that I can't bear to touch. How can something so small hurt this damn much? The world is moving forward, it's a blur of gray and gold, but I'm holding on to a hand that's grown tired and cold. Is it a haunting if I'm the one who won't let go? If I'm the one who's staying when the tide is getting low? I'd rather have the memory than a brand new start. I'd rather have the pieces of your broken heart than a home from a stranger who doesn't know my name, who doesn't understand that nothing's ever been the same. To catch me when I fall, no one else to answer when I call. I'm closing up the house, I'm turning off the light, and I'm whispering to the ceiling in the middle of the night. It's you, it was always you. And there's no one else. I'm still setting the table for a dinner made for 2. Habits are the hardest things to break when they're of you. The clock upon the mantle hasn't moved since you walked out. Silence in the kitchen is the only thing I shout. I found your favorite bookmark in a page we never read. Now I'm sleeping on the edge just to keep space in the bed. The neighbors see me walking and they ask me how I am. I tell them fine through tea. They feel like they're behind a dam. They say that life is seasons, that the winter has to end, but I'm stuck in the December of a lover and a friend. And I'm looking at the calendar, but the numbers don't make sense when the heart is built of glass and the world is built of fence pairs. You're my forever, even if the ever's gone. You're the ghost I'm holding on to at the breaking of the dawn. I promised you my always, and I don't know how to stop. Even when the world is ending and the heavy curtains drop. I'm a king without a country, I'm a sky without the blue, 'cause my heart is still convinced that my forever is you. I saw a car like yours today and nearly lost my mind. I'm a hunter in the dark for a light I'll never find. I remember how you told me that we grow to be so old, that we'd watch the silver stories of our history unfold. Now I'm looking at my hands and they're shaking like a leaf, trying to build a monument out of nothing but this grief. I'm a letter in a bottle that was never cast to sea, just a message for a person who's no longer here for me. Is forever just a word that we used to hide the fear? Is it the weight every day you're no longer here? I'm a prisoner of a promise that you didn't mean to keep. I'm a sailor on an ocean that's 1,000 miles too deep. If I let go of the memory, then I let go of the truth that I gave you every second of my heart and of my youth. The ghost I'm holding on to at the breaking of the dawn. I promised you my always, and I don't know how to stop. Even when the world is ending and the heavy curtains drop. I'm a king without a country, I'm a sky without the blue, 'cause my heart is still convinced that my forever is you. My forever is a lonely road to walk. My forever is a room where we don't talk. I'm sitting on the porch swing, watching the sky turn black, waiting for a feeling that I know ain't coming back. The city lights are humming, trying to drown out the quiet, but my mind is a storm, and my heart is a riot. I remember how you told me when the world felt small, that as long as we had moonlight we could survive it all. Now I'm staring at the vacuum where you used to be, and the darkness is the only thing that's looking back at me. I used to navigate by the glow of your skin, by the steady quiet rhythm of the breath you pulled, and now I'm a sailor with a compass that's spun out of gear, lost in a winter that lasts all through the year. Cause you're my star, or you were for a while, the only light that reached me across every mile. Now the sky is just empty, a cold velvet scar, and I'm reaching for a ghost that's traveled too far. They say the stars burn out long before we see them fade. Now I'm just standing in the shadow that your memory made. Yeah, you're my star, but your light is away. I found your old telescope, gathering dust in the hall beside the high marks we used to draw on the wall. I try to find your orbit, I try to track your flight, but you're a flicker in the distance, a brick in the night. I'm still wearing the sweater that you left on the chair. It smells like a forever that's no longer there. How do I move when the gravity's gone? How do I face the cruel heavy light of the dawn? Are you shining for someone in a different town? Is your silver light burning while I'm breaking down? I'm a satellite spinning out of control, with a cratered out heart and a vacuum for a soul. If I could fold up the space and the time in between, I'd find the one version of us that was still clean. Cause you're my star, but you were for a while, the only light that reached me across every mile. Now the sky is just empty, a cold velvet scar, and I'm reaching for a ghost that's traveled too far. They say the stars burn out long before we see them fade. Now I'm just standing in the shadow that your memory made. Yeah, you're my star, but your light years away. Light years away in the cold and the deep. A promise I made that I couldn't keep. I'm closing my eyes, I'm making a wish on a sky that doesn't exist. You're my star, but the night is so